How you
soaking up the
doing?
sunshine. Dude, I'm doing great. I think everybody on this call, you don't even need an introduction because everybody knows who you are. And I'm just really excited to pick your brain because I'm pretty sure you only hire people that are in great shape and have a six pack. Because everybody in your office is like, you guys are all in great shape. You guys are all tan, looking good. So Andy Elliott's office must be in Scottsdale, must be rubbing off on you guys.
Yeah, I think actually most people I brought on, I met in the gym. I met Zach freshman year of college. Zach met Ronnie in the gym. Mason I met at a Mountainside Fitness down here. So it's actually like most of our team I actually met inside of the gym, which is kind of funny.
Oh, so you do have to have a six pack to work on your team. Okay.
It is one of the requirements, yeah.
All right, bro. I'm gonna get back in the gym and then I'll hopefully set up an interview with you in the coming months. I'm just kidding. But in all seriousness though, you guys came off of a very successful lock-in.
Mhm.
Your teams has been exploding. You guys are gonna freaking grow the heck out of this thing over the course of this next year. I really see it. So, first of all, because and I don't think you mind me sharing this, when you first got into this, you weren't producing a lot and you weren't really consistent. So what was that mindset switch that allowed you to really take this business serious and start hitting your goals?
Yeah, I mean when I first started, I'd say I used it as more of like a vehicle for me to work and move around. I didn't really take the business seriously as like my own business. It was more of I don't know, I like the idea of it, but I wasn't executing what I really wanted to do getting into it. So once I moved out to Chicago, that's really when I started to take things seriously. And I broke down all my numbers yesterday for the entire year. Um, right, literally the first month I moved to Chicago, my income doubled inside of the business, and it was just because every single day I got in the office at the same time, left at the same time, was surrounded by the people who were performing and would hold me accountable. Even back in Arizona now, it's the joke in the office. Mason will say anytime someone leaves the office before like 7 p.m., it's like, oh, you're taking a half day today? You're leaving early? So it just changed that mindset of what was truly necessary when we got to Chicago, to see what people are doing who were successful, and just surround yourself with that environment of people who actually wanted to do this, not someone who is taking the opportunity for granted.
Yeah. So working from your bedroom was not it, is what you're saying.
No. Yeah, and I'm sure you remember me in the Zoom calls, first couple months in the business where my bed is in the back of the Zoom.
Yes. I
Uh,
remember
yeah,
that.
yeah. So definitely wasn't the most ideal when you get bitched out on the phone a couple times, and then you see your bed in the corner over there, and you might want to go lay down instead of hitting the phones again.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So I think a common question I get asked this all the time. And I like to ask, guys that are producing on a consistent level and building, what does your schedule look like towards, because you gotta balance hiring, writing your own writing business, and then training your agents.
Yeah. So on a daily basis, I'm getting the office at the latest 6:30 is always the goal, and I'm leaving at 6 p.m. I'm getting there really early just because I need to get in there when all my guys aren't in the office because I don't have my separate space right now. So that allows me to get some of the focused work done in the morning, um, and then hit the phones from I'd say 7 to 11. Since I'm in there early, I feel like I've earned the right to then take a little break in the middle of the day, go hit the gym, go get some lunch, and then I'm coming back at 1 p.m. and going till 6. So it's a 12-hour day with about an hour break in between, Monday through Friday. And then I'm working on the weekends too, because those are the times that it's easiest to reach families. Saturday morning, and my favorite's honestly been Sunday evening. After all the families get home from church and brunch, everyone's just getting ready for work the next day. Um, and people always have complaints, whether it's too early in the morning, too late in the day, whether it's Sunday or Saturday. I think a lot of agents have some limiting beliefs on when you can actually call people, and it doesn't really matter. Every single day you're calling someone, someone's going to give you a reason why it's a bad time. So it's just finding the people who do want to talk to you. Um,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
facts. It was if I could add to that, I mean, I genuinely like you guys hear me say this before, but it's important. Like Saturdays, Sundays, genuinely the best day I found to run appointments to help families. And when I was broke, I was running 7 days a week, and I was doing what I needed to do. And then for me, I like to go to church. I like to take the day off, so I don't
Mhm.
work Sundays anymore, and I haven't for a while. But if you're new or whatever else, working Sundays is great. And for
Yep.
you, do you take a day off during the week then so you can run Sundays
Yep.
then, or are you running 7 days a week?
Typically, I'm taking off on Wednesdays. But since I've got to Arizona, it's just been, trying to get everything in place for the office. So it's just been kind of nonstop right now, but I definitely plan on taking a day off here soon, but it's just not the time to do so. It's time to put the head down and kind
Yeah,
of grind it out.
time to build, time to scale.
Mhm.
100%. How much did you guys do last month as a team?
Last month, we did 75. The month before that, we did 110. But for this month, it's because we were moving to Arizona. That's why I'm saying November wasn't at what we wanted. This month, we're already at 75 issued 2 weeks in. So we're going to crush the goals to hit under 50K this month.
Let's go. You
Mhm.
guys did, because you guys did 150 just to lock in, submit,
Yep.
right?
Yep. My team, we did 92, I believe. And with Turner as well, we did 150 in that 1 week. And we had myself, Devin Denstead, Ronald LeBranch, and who am I missing? Vishnu. We did 20K that week. So
Nice.
Turner's
The bo-
building some absolute killers.
yeah, the boys are ripping. The
Hmm.
boys are ripping. Another thing I wanted to ask you, because you recently closed a large annuity. Are
Hmm.
you actively seeking to find annuities within the families you're helping as well?
Absolutely, and it was actually Brady who really got me to take it serious because his first week he came out to Chicago and started selling. He set an appointment for an annuity and it closed the next week, and that opened my mind to everyone on our team was leaving so much money on the table because I think especially when we're first getting started, we're so transactional, right? We're not really diving deep into the financial inventory and taking our time and asking all the right questions. So once he got that, it just changed my mindset immediately, started asking those questions and really trying to build the value with hopping on a call with Dave or any of the annuity specialists. So that week when we did that 100K submit as a team, I also set 3 annuity appointments, and it's my goal to set 3 every week.
Nice. Nice. And how long have you consistently been doing that?
I'd say since probably the end of October is when I really started.
Okay.
Hmm.
And do you have any specific habits or disciplines that you've implemented to make sure that you're asking for annuities, finding them, anything along those lines?
Yeah, I think it's just being very, very intentional about what the client's goals are, asking them what they're specifically looking for through the entire process of the financial inventory. And then once you get to the questions, I think a lot of new agents skip over the question, do you have any other assets that you would use and liquidate in case of an emergency? And then they'll just run through that list. They'll just say 401k, IRA, stocks, bonds. The client will say they have a 401k, and then they just move to the next question. They're not actually being intentional about, why they asked that. So after they tell me, yes, I have a 401k, I'm going to ask, okay, well, how much do you currently have set aside in that 401k for retirement? Say, okay, $100,000. Okay, how much of that would you be willing to lose if something like 2008 were to happen again?
None
Everyone
of it.
says nothing, right? Okay, perfect. Just touching on that, we do have some specialists in our field who focus on protecting your assets for retirement, but we'll circle back to that later. And then I'm going back into the pitch of the equity protection or mortgage protection. And then when I get after that and I close them or they say they don't want equity protection because it didn't make sense for them, I'm circling right back to that and setting that appointment with Dave.
Okay, gotcha. And then what are the track words you're using I think that's where a lot of agents struggle is like they know what to ask and how to find it, but they struggle, what to say towards booking that appointment.
Yeah, so I'll ask them, hey, circling back to the 401k we talked about, like you said, you really just want to make sure that that is secure for retirement, right, Jonah?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Would you be against hopping on a quick 10-minute call with one of our specialists, to see if this is something that would make sense for you? They'll just give you some quick tips and tricks. I always like joining in on those calls as well because I learn a lot. Again, is that something you'd be against?
No, that sounds good. I'd be open to that.
Perfect. And then I'm going right to their calendar and booking it right then and there. I'm not giving them any out. I'm getting all their info, putting it right into their Calendly. And same thing with when you're setting an appointment for mortgage protection, I would not try to set it more than, a couple days out because, they're just going to forget about what you actually talked about and cancel that appointment.
Yeah, no doubt. Okay. I like that. Would you be opposed to hopping on a 10-minute call and talking to one of our specialists?
Hmm.
That's good. Well, let's speaking of booking appointments, because another thing agents struggle with is just booking quality mortgage protection life insurance appointments. So do you just want to role play booking an appointment with me? Exactly
Yeah,
how you do it?
sure.
Sweet.
Do you want to start from the intro or just say, hey, Joan,
Yeah.
I'm busy right now?
Let's start from the top, the intro and down.
Okay. Ring, ring. Hello, Jonah.
Yeah. This is Jonah.
Hey, Jonah, this is Kyle, Kyle Petersen. I just had to give you a quick call here. I work with the brokerage that handles the mortgage protection for your lender, and your file associated with your property just came across my desk, and it's still shown as incomplete. Um, Now, one of my guys should have got to you already to show you those options for the the mortgage protection, the covers that would pay off the home for your family if you were to get sick or pass away. Um, did any of my guys get to you already, or did you end up slipping through the cracks, Jonah?
Yeah, we got a few calls about that, but hey man, I'm working. Can you call me later?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to make sure, Jonah, this is something that it is interest you. I'm assuming you wanted some coverage on the home and you filled out that card because you needed something for the family in case you were to get sick or pass away. Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I'd be open to talking to somebody about that.
Okay, perfect. Go grab a pen and paper for me because I am mandated by the state to give you my credentials, so that I know I'm talking to you and you know you're talking to a licensed agent. Okay. So grab a pen and paper and I'll give you my information for that appointment.
All right, I got one ready.
Okay. So I'm going to be your direct point of contact. I'll be the one calling you for that appointment. My name is Kyle Petersen. That is KYLEPETERSEN. You got that?
Got it.
Okay. I'm going to call you from this phone number, my personal line. So it's 330-631-1111. You got that?
Yep, I got it.
Okay. Lastly, I'm going to give you my national producer number. This is basically my social security with the Department of Insurance. So this would be a way to verify I'm a licensed agent. That number
Got it.
is 210-260-79.
Okay, I
And that
gotcha.
perfect. And I'm going to ask for that license number again when we start the appointment. So what time for that appointment works best for you, Jonah? Does later today or tomorrow work better for you?
I'll be home after 5.
Okay. So let's set an appointment then for either 5:30 or 6:30 to give you some time. What works best for you?
Let's do 6:30 just to make sure I'm home and settled.
Okay, perfect. I'll have you write that down on that piece of paper today at 6:30. You got that?
I got it. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then go ahead and save my contact in your phone because I want you to make sure that you answer when I give you a call and you don't think it's some random person calling you, okay?
All right,
All
I'll
right,
get
so
you
go ahead
saved.
and throw that in the calendar and I'll give you a call around 6:30, Jonah.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Boom.
That'll be
Money.
it. So I
Sounds
think
good.
a lot of new agents, they really just throw the appointment to the side. They're not really being intentional about it. They just want to set an appointment to set an appointment instead of actually figuring out if the person is intentional and actually wants the coverage.
Yeah, that's important because it's easy. Like, because a lot of times if somebody says, "Hey, I'm busy. Can you call me later?" They're not serious and they have zero intention of showing for that appointment. So that's a
Hmm.
good point. Also, just making sure that you're vetting them and they're genuinely interested and they genuinely want your help with
Yep.
that.
Yep. And to be honest, the main thing that's been a game changer for me, my appointment sure rate's probably doubled in the past 2 months, I'd say, just because I'm using a CRM that is actually texting and reminders for the appointment an hour before, 15 minutes before, 24 hours before. Um, and that's really changed everything for me there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's important. That's important. What would you say your show rate percentage is on average?
So right now, because I'm doing a lot of text blasting, so they're sending a lot of texts out, and I have a VA who's actually responding to those text messages and booking my calendar and sending those reminders. My show rate's probably been around 75%, I'd say, for my appointments.
Sheesh, that's solid.
I think people who are responding to a text message and booking a calendar, it seems like they've been a lot more intentional, um, than phone booked appointments.
Okay. And then when you're texting leads, are you only booking appointments with them? Or are you calling them when they respond and we'll call closing them?
I'll call them when they respond as well, if I'm not already in an appointment.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, what percentage of your appointments would you say are one call closes versus booked appointments? Or what percentage of your presentations, I should say?
It's completely changed now. I mean, when I first started, it was probably 80% were one call closes. And now it's probably two-thirds of them are from booked appointments from texting. It
Okay.
that week of the lock-in, it kind of opened my mind to what was possible because that week I made 60 phone calls the entire week and wrote over 20,000 of business, just because I had like 8 appointments every day just from people going into that system and getting appointments set.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Okay. And one thing I want to go back to is I want to go back because I'm really proud of you guys. And I'm really proud of you guys and that mindset switch and the work you guys are putting in and what you guys are going to accomplish over the course of this next year. But I think, there's people on this call that are, they're not where they want to be. They're not as consistent and they're not as consistent as they should be. They're not hitting their goals. So, what really made that switch mentally for you to decide to move out here to Chicago, and really prioritize not only taking this business here in your personal production, but, elevating and becoming a leader as well.
I think the first thing is not waiting. I knew I was going to make it out to Chicago at some point, and I pushed that out to the summertime. Um, I wish I would have done it right away, like Jake did, like Turner did. They moved there immediately, um, and embraced the suck of the wintertime. And and that really just changed everything, right? When you go to that office, it really opens your mind to what is actually possible in this business. Because when I first got into this, even when I first went out to Chicago, I had no intention of opening an office in Arizona. And then really just listening to you and seeing what you've done over the past year. Like I remember us walking in Chicago going to get lunch and you're like, Kyle, I my biggest regret was not opening an office as soon as possible. And I took that literally and said, okay, now I need to go do that. Um, just having a place where people can plug in, especially every time I bring a new agent in, most of them have the intention to build. And I think that's really what made me get serious about it is when I had one or two guys I brought in. And now I really needed to perform because I'm responsible for other people now. It's not just about me anymore.
100%. Double down and elaborate off of, why is it so important for guys to either move to an office or, get plugged into a local office or start an office?
Yeah, and to touch on that too, for myself, people on my team I'm hiring now, we're making it mandatory for that first month that they're either in Chicago or Arizona. Um, it's important just because most people, especially if they're not coming from a prior sales position, which a lot of people on our team aren't, they really don't really know what's necessary. Because if they're coming from a normal 9 to 5, they think they can really just show up and go about their day and they're going to make money. But the only real time you make money is making phone calls, running appointments, and closing deals. Um, and then really just when you're seeing guys like Mason, guys like Ronnie who are showing up at 6 a.m. and closing deals and they're not leaving until late into the night, it really makes it real for other people.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Some of you guys may have heard me share this before, but when I was an employee, salary, hourly, whatever it was, I'll be honest with you guys, I always did the bare minimum, being
Hmm.
just to get by, because I knew my income did not fluctuate and did not change. Whether I put in 100%, 110% effort, or 70% effort, I was getting paid the exact same. one of the best things I did coming into this business and for my mindset was I understood that I was paid, I was not paid hourly anymore. I was paid based on my efforts. And the only thing that was going to produce me income was by how intentional I was with my schedule and prioritizing, spending my time doing money making activities. And in this business, it's not that deep. It's down, down the phones, helping families, writing business, hiring, and training agents. So my mindset has always been, how can I spend as much time as possible simply doing those three activities?
Hmm. Yeah, and I think the other thing is just the community of the office. It is really enjoyable to go in person and see the people I like to work with every day compared to being in my bedroom. You're
Yeah,
isolated. When you get to work with people you enjoy working with, I haven't complained about this job honestly since I started, and especially since I've been in an office, just because I get to see the people I want to see every day. We're all pushing each other, and it being in person too, you see a lot of other people who are successful and doing well, and it makes it seem easy, right? You see other people doing it, and you're like, okay, really anyone can do this, right?
yeah, yeah. I was actually telling my dad a while back when I was telling him, I was like, honestly, it's like I love what we do, and it doesn't even feel like work, because I'm
Hmm.
coming in the office, I'm around the guys every day, we're around like-minded individuals, we're pushing each other, we're developing. And on the flip side of that, and I think, there's people on this call that can attest, it's dude, when I was working from my house, I was starting to go a little crazy. Like my house, I was like, dude, you got to get me out of here. Like it started to feel like a prison. It's just when you're by yourself, you're in your head, negativity can creep in, self-doubt, all these different things, and we're all guilty of it. And when you're in an office and you're around other individuals, if you're having a bad day and Johnny's on the phone next to you and he just helped the family, he just made 3 grand, whatever it is, that fires you up. Or if you're having a great day, you help fire someone else up. So yeah, that energy is contagious, and just getting
Hmm.
around like-minded individuals because you are the 5 people that you surround yourself with. So get around the
Definitely.
people that are where you want to be.
And I think a big reason Turner's team, our team, is been so successful is because you could be a testament to this too, Jonah. I feel like you haven't heard, or many people in the team have not heard me and Turner complain about this business once. Like we have no complaints. Like we are very positive mindset towards what we're doing. And that's just contagious to everyone we're working with.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, just as a leader in general, it's you should never complain. Never complain to the people that you're responsible for or you're leading. And I think I read that in a John Maxwell book, and I really took that to heart. Like if you're having an issue, take that up with your mentor, a leader, someone that's above you, that's there to help you. But it's yeah, your people and the people you're responsible for, it's no negativity. We don't need any
Mhm.
negativity.
Yep,
Let me
yep.
ask you this, Kyle. What are some non-negotiables for you and your team that you guys have in place?
Yep. So for new agents, we're telling them it's going to be a minimum of, 50 hours a week you're going to be working, and you're going to be in the office 5 days a week, and you will be in Arizona or Chicago those first 30 days. For people who are active, if you really want to be successful, um, it's going to be a 12-hour day, 5 days a week. It's going to be either 8 to 8, it's going to be 6 to 6, whatever you just want your schedule to be, but that's what it's going to look like. And like you said, everyone here is hitting the gym. They're getting active. Um, Besides that, yeah, no complaining, right? The people who are going to complain in this industry aren't going to be successful. If they're blaming outside circumstances for why it's not working for them, it really doesn't come down to that, because it is really just you who's holding yourself back. There's nothing to complain about. You have unlimited leads. You have the system in order to call people and make money. And we have the support to make sure that you will be successful. So if you're not successful, it really just comes down to yourself, and you're not actually putting in the hours.
1000%. That was well said.
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely believe in this business because there's a lot of other people on here that came from door-to-door sales or other sales jobs where that's hardcore. When you're
Hmm.
cold knocking on doors and trying to find your own prospects, find your own leads, and you're just starting from scratch. I mean, that's sales. But this is, I mean, we're basically glorified order takers. With anything else, it's just, and we're not cold calling anybody. Every single person we're calling, they fill out a form for life insurance. They're thinking about life insurance. They fill it out for a reason, and they raise their hand and said, "Please help." So I'm a firm believer that this business, 10% skill set and 90% mindset. So what is your mindset? What are your habits? What's your daily routine? That's going to directly dictate your success coming
Mhm.
into this.
Yeah, and I
What are
think I was going to touch on, I think just the reason why we've been doing well is just because we brought in the right people. Um, that we haven't brought in people who are been cancers of the office or don't have high goals. Everyone comes in here and wants to make a lot of money and wants to help everyone on the team. There's no cancers.
Yeah, that's another big one as well. Where we spoke about that. We've had a private conversation about just people, and luckily I mean, everybody in our office, your office, like everybody's great that we work with now, and there's no cancers that we have in either of our offices, but we have had that in the past, and just when we have removed those people and gotten those people out, it's the entire organization, the entire office, it just flourishes and elevates people up. So it
Hmm.
goes both sides. If you're around positive people, people that are putting in work, that helps bring everybody up. And if there's negative people, that just brings the entire organization down. So also
Hmm.
being protective of that culture is a big deal.
Hmm.
So on top of everything else we've talked about on this call, what are some other tangible tips that you would give a new agent 90 days into this business to help them succeed?
I'd say one of the first things I do with people when they're getting started is set a schedule. Like I will pull up Google Calendar for them and time block out the times they're supposed to be working. And that's what I ran off for the past 4 years is my calendar. So it actually blows my mind when someone doesn't have one set up, you know? So I think that is the main thing to show people, and I'll do it in interviews too. Like these are the hours that you will be working. Is this something you'll be able to do? And if they say yes to that, then it's, see if they'll actually stick to that. Besides that, get used to the word no, right? You need to get good at rejection, especially if you haven't come at sales before. Henry was talking about this other day, one of our old solar bosses. He would go out on the doors with like $1,000 in cash in his pockets. He had $100 bills. Someone would tell him no, he'd stick out $100 bill, say thank you to them, and he'd put it in his pocket. So it's truly once you get to 10 no's, that next person that you're going to call should be a close. And that's something I actually did when I first started on my dial tracker. Every time I talked to someone, if they told me no, I'd put a star next to it. It only happened once the entire time I've been in this business that I've talked to 10 people and I got 10 no's in a row.
So every time you were told no on the phones, you were Venmoing them $100.
I was not doing that, but it is definitely powerful if you make that a little game for yourself to actually search for those no's, you know.
Yeah. Have you read the book Go for No?
Yep. Mhm.
Yeah, that's a great book. And anybody that struggles with rejection, or if you're new to sales, I would encourage you guys to read that book, because that really helped my mindset a ton towards this business. Because you're right, it's every no you get is one step closer to a yes.
Absolutely. And then lastly, I'd say it's not even I wouldn't call it balance because we work really long hours, but you need to have some other outlet to get energy because this job can be stressful. It takes a lot of energy, so you need to do something to deplug, whether that's going to the gym, hitting the sauna, getting out in nature and going on a hike. You need at least you need an hour every day where you can kind of de-stress, and you need, a time every week where you can actually not think about work for the entire day.
Yes, I agree 100%. That was well said. Let me ask you this, Kyle. What does your recruiting and hiring process look like?
Yeah, when I first started recruiting wise, I really didn't do a ton. And honestly, Turner, I don't think either of us have directly reached out to a lot of people until recently. Um, it was just using the systems you already had in place, creating an Instagram post here and there, posting something on your story. And I think me as well as Turner, throughout being in college or people we've just knew in the past, I think they always had some sort of respect for us because we were doing well in other areas, whether that was, I used to compete in lifting. Turner was really successful in solar. So people just knew we had some level of dedication and we really go all in on what we're doing. So people are just generally attracted, I feel like, to opportunities we put in front of people. Um, so mostly the process and pipeline is just posting on Instagram, and that is a goal for 2025 is to actually create a more systemized schedule for posting. Um, once there's some level of interest, I'm sending them a couple videos immediately. I'm sending them that FAQ video on your Instagram as well as one podcast that pertains to I feel like that person, whether they were in solar before. That Ryan Koski video, I love sending everyone too because he just goes through the whole sales process.
Yeah.
I won't hop on a call with them until they watch those videos. Like you said, it'll waste a lot of time. Um, and then after that, I'm just kind of grilling them a little bit, asking what their goals are. Why are they looking for another position? If it's someone who's going to tell you, oh, I want to, make a lot of money and not a lot of time, that's not going to be the person you're going to want to bring onto the team, right? Um, so once you feel like it is a good fit for them, it's just then plugging into the system that's already in place. And now we're even creating our own system on top of what you guys are already creating, where I'm actually able to track everyone who's in the pipeline, and it'll send out automated text to them just to check in with them and uh, just make sure we're on top of it. Because I'm sure as this starts to scale, it gets hard to produce, recruit, and train, and make sure your team's doing well. So that's kind of my mindset is how can I systemize and automate everything as fast as possible right now.
Amen. Yeah, that's great. Are you so you're leveraging social media, you're
Hmm.
posting about your success, about the
Hmm.
business, people are coming in that way. You're leveraging content videos
Hmm.
to, you know, allow them to get an idea of what the business is and have a more, developed understanding before you hop on a call with them. Are you
Hmm.
bringing them, are you just doing a one call and then you're hiring them on the spot on that call? Or are you bringing them through a series of interviews? What does that look like?
It depends on the person. If I feel like my main question as I get towards the end of it, if I feel like they're a good fit, I'll ask them on a scale of 1 to 10, how dedicated would you be to this opportunity? And if they say 10 out of 10 and I like them, they're good to go. But if there's anything that's not a 10 out of 10, then we're gonna schedule another call. I'm gonna have them watch more videos, and we're gonna, you know, go through another question, interview basically.
Nice. I like that. I like that. Bro, this was great. Guys, drop an emoji in the chat if you took value from this. But okay, let me ask you this on top of what we already spoke about. I mean, what are some other goals that you have coming into this next year, 2025?
2025, I want the team to issue $4 million of business. That's the goal. Um, I
For the
want
year or
to
4 million per month?
for the year is the initial goal. Got to do that before I could do the next part, right? That'll be a 2026 goal.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
and then I want to hit President's Club personally. I think I'll have the ability to do that while growing a team if I am focused on annuities as well as some higher level products like IULs. Um, and then I want to get active on social media again. I used to be very active while I was in school, and I want to get back on that grind of having a consistent pipeline of posts and just creating that recruitment process for myself. That is another goal.
I love that. I love that. Well, sounds good. Well, we're going on 40 minutes here, so we'll open it up for questions. So either unmute or drop your questions in the chat. Looks like Chase Lucas said, "What the Ryan video you sent him, is that the Prosper Pod one that I did with
Yes.
Ryan? Is that the one you
Yep.
sent him?"
Mhm. I think he
Dope.
sets, yeah, great expectations for the business. He tells how much he struggled in the beginning. Like what he said he didn't do, he went 20 presentations without a sale, and then
Yeah,
so he sets really good expectations, and it allows people to see the entire sales process too because you go through the whole pitch.
100%. Yeah, it shows success, highlights the success, but also shows the roadmap on what it took to get there.
Hmm. What else you
Awesome.
got? Giovanni asked, do I generate my own leads? I've tried some Facebook campaigns. I'm still doing those. I don't create the campaigns myself. We pay someone else to do that. And then those are our own fresh leads. But yeah, have been doing that. But mainly my business has been off of aged mailers, and aged mailers work well, and you don't really need to move away from them unless you really want to, I guess, push towards those 100K months. I think that's where you'd have to start getting some fresher leads. Ryan
100%.
has mass texting and age lead list. That's what we were doing. Um, that's all the questions I'm seeing so far. What is your favorite source to purchase leads from? Typically we use proven leads as well as a Cheryl as well.
Love Cheryl and Proven.
Yeah.
Buck says, how did you get so jacked?
In college, all I did was lift, honestly. I just competed in powerlifting and that was my main focus. So being
Did
intense.
you won state, right, for powerlifting?
I won nationals 2 times.
Nationals?
Yep.
Let's go. Did you win did you win state for wrestling as well? You're a wrestler?
I placed in states. I did not I never won it. Um but I think that is a lot of our team. We're all wrestlers and we're all either bodybuilders or powerlifters, and that just for either of those sports you need a lot of dedication. So I think if you're searching for those groups, you're gonna have success.
Yeah, that mindset definitely translates
Mhm.
over this business for sure. Any other questions, comments?
So I
Uh,
haven't, yeah, I saw it. I haven't dabbled much in fresh leads, just because been doing the text campaigns with older leads as I've been using fresh leads as well. So I haven't had the time to really take in the time to master them. And it is very comforting, using those age leads, especially because they are so cheap, and you can get a solid return on them. Like guys like Vishnu, Mason, Ronnie, we're all performing off age leads still.
Another person asked, do you prefer IUL or mortgage leads?
So performance wise, so far, I mean, it's been all mortgage leads, but the IULs, you definitely have a lot of interesting conversations with people and an opportunity for really large commissions. You just have to have the knowledge and conviction in what you're talking about for people to trust you with those.
Yeah. Yeah. If I could touch on that as well, because I've seen agents come in, they'll start on mortgage, they'll start with mortgage, like, all right, I'm gonna completely jump to IULs where master one lead set first and then jump to that. And like what you said, Kyle, it's IULs, it's a higher level, higher caliber sale because exactly what you said. You've got to really know what you're talking about with IULs and you've got to be a lot more knowledgeable. And not only that, it's IULs, you're not getting a lot of times you're not getting paid a week, a week, 2 weeks later. You're getting paid like if you're doing a large max hundred IULs, like you're waiting a month, couple months. So you also want to make sure that you've got your bank account built up and you've got a
Hmm.
solid reservoir of funds before you dabble into that and you really know what you're doing.
Yep. How do I plan on using the CRM after the law changes? Really switching towards those digital leads. We have a couple different people I'm going to be talking to just to mass generate leads, and then same thing, throw them through the CRM, text them, and my plan even with the leads I've been working through there. I was buying leads over 3 years and putting them in there. Everyone that I'm not closing, I'm just going to give those to my new agents for when they're first getting started, and they're going to get some more juice out of those as well. Um, but yeah, just moving to digital leads. How old are
100%.
the leads? Typically when I'm dialing, I don't like to go over 2 years. 7 to 12 months are always my favorite ones.
Money. All right, Kyle. Well, bro, close us out, dude. And what's any closing thoughts or advice you can give us?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think you're a testament to this as well, Jonah. This industry, I've never been more excited, honestly, for 2025 in the next 5 years. Um, this is the time in our life where most of us are in our young 20s to really put our head down, create generational wealth, and there's not anything else I'd rather be doing. So,
And amen. I love it.
mm,
Well said. Well, guys, I hope everyone has a great holidays. Spend time with your family. Enjoy the time off, and God bless. Talk to y'all later.
Thank you.